Yo, what is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the top 5 best budget cards at each position here in NBA 2K25 MyTEAM. Now, number 1, I already recorded this entire video and my audio didn't record, so we're doing it for a second time, which is kind of annoying, but I do know which cards I'm going to put on this already, which is good. And I will say my definition of budget is around 50k MT. Now, I did expand that budget a little bit for a couple of the cards in this list, so keep that in mind. But for the most part, everybody on this list is right around that 50k MT price point, if not cheaper. So with that being said, without further ado, let's hop right into it. Let's start off at number 5 at the point guard position, which is going to be Tim Hardaway. And I think Tim Hardaway, mainly the best part about this card is that he's got that Patty Mills base, which is a very, very fast, incredible jump shot. Decent perimeter defender as well. Overall, though, he's not a great slasher and he's not an elite defender. Very undersized. Can't dunk at all. So I don't believe he's a top tier card. But he is an incredible shooter, and that does help him out as a card. I think he's solid enough to deserve to be pretty high on the list. Number 4 is going to be Raymond Felton, another pretty good but not amazing diamond. Now, he can dunk a little bit. He's an inch taller than Tim Hardaway. Also okay defensively. Like, not a bad card, but not an amazing one either. Has a decent release. Like, again, he's not great, but he's not trash. And so we'll put him at number 4. Number 3 is actually Ruby Mario Chalmers, who is arguably the best Ruby card in the game, period. Like, that's how good this card is. He is so solid. Really versatile defender, can slash and finish at a pretty high level. And defensively is really solid. I think he's as good as some of the more expensive diamond point guards. I mean, he's a very solid card. And honestly, even number 3 could be argued to be too low. Devin Harris at number 2 has a fast jump shot, is super fast in his own right, can dunk the ball pretty well, and is a pretty solid defender. He's a super solid card as well, and I think he's a little bit overlooked at the PG spot because he's really solid and incredibly fast. And then number 1 is Kyle Lowry, who's just got 10 Hoffs and all playmaking, defensive, and shooting badges, and is just really good in all 3 of those areas. Can't dunk, but everything else about him is great, and that gives us a 5-some of point guards where got 4 diamonds and Ruby Chalmers, and I would say a very solid start to this list. Shooting guard position number 5 is actually going to be Dominique Wilkins, and he is, honestly, he'd be much higher on the list if he had better badges, but he's got a total of 9 badges, and the only gold badge that he has that isn't a slashing badge is gold pogo stick, which isn't all that important. His badges are just not very good, especially shooting, playmaking, and defensive. And it really limits the card because he is 6'8" with a good release and elite athletic ability. I would like this card if he was more complete stat-wise and well, badge-wise mainly, but unfortunately he's not. Christian Brown is going to be number 4. I understand this card is not buyable, but he is a card you get for free for leveling up this season. I think he's like level 10 or so early level, and he's really good. Has a very nice release and is a great defender for a Ruby shooting guard. And I think 3-and-D, a little bit athletic ability, very good jumper, and solid defense provides a very solid budget shooting guard. Albert King is who I got at number 3. Another guy with a solid release, very athletic and solid defensively, has decent interior, decent strength, good perimeter and steal and all that type of stuff. So again, provides everything you're really looking for out of a budget shooting guard at a pretty high level. Number 2 is Thabo Sefolosha, who is very complete defensively in terms of stats and badges. Really, as a whole, his stats and badges are really good. He's a great shooter. He's got an 85 driving dunk, and he's got good speed, great agility, versatile elite defense. Little bit of shooting badges as well. His jumper could be a little better, but he is a really good 3-and-D card because he's got great athletic ability. He's a very good defender, and he's a very capable shooter as well. I like Thabo Sefolosha a ton, but the number 1 best budget shooting guard in the game is Doug West. And I don't really have to even think about it. His jumper's really fast. His movement is really good. For a 50,000 MT-ish budget diamond, he is a really good card, and I think he deserves to be pretty high up on this list at number 1. Small forward position, we are going to start with Lou Dort, who is only 6'4". That's probably his biggest flaw. He's not the best interior defender, but he's a very good perimeter defender, has a very nice jump shot, and is a very capable slasher. That's about all that needs to be said about Lou Dort. Trevor Ariza is a 6'8" version of Lou Dort. Good perimeter defender, not unbelievable on the interior, but he is taller at 6'8". Shoots the ball really well, dunks the ball really well. That's about it. He's a better version of Dort. Goes number 4. Number 3 is going to be Tony Kukoc, who is a little bit slept on, I think. I think he's actually pretty good. He's 6'11". His stats and badges could use a little bit of work, but he's got a good amount of total badges, even if a lot of them are lower tier badges. And so I do think Kukoc is pretty good. I think he's a very viable option at this diamond small forward or power forward. And I think he's a pretty solid card. Really have no issues putting him at the number 3 spot on this list. Number 2 is going to be ML Carr, who is really, really good defensively, of course, and also can finish decently well and has a very fast jump shot. He is, again, a pure 3-and-D in a lot of ways. Kind of a better version of a guy like Lou Dort, and I think he's a very, very solid card. And I do believe he's top 2 probably, because his animations are nice, man. He's a really solid card. Number 1, Chuck Person. My dog just barked in the background. I apologize if y'all heard that. But Chuck Person is 6'8". He's got good speed. He's got 80 vert, 80 strength. Good defender, even though the steal and block ratings are low. He is a good shooter, fast jump shot, really good shooting badges. Very, very solid card at the small forward position for a super affordable price. Definitely not a small forward you want to overlook. Easily, to me, the best option at the budget small forward position if you're looking for somebody to add to your squad. Power forward position, starting off at number 5, is actually going to be a Sapphire. I believe the only Sapphire on this list, and that is Sapphire Purvis Ellison. Despite his jump shot or his 3-ball rating being only a 59, his jumper is really solid, and that allows him to shoot the ball well. He's got 80-something speed, 80-something defense across the board, and 80-something rebounding, and he basically provides enough speed, defense, and rebounding to be really capable at the power forward position, and then can shoot the open 3 at a high level because he's got a really nice jumper. Overall, very, very solid card and deserves a spot on this list for sure, despite only being a Sapphire. Number 4 is Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Ruby Sharif has been out for a long time and is still very valuable. Really good release, does everything well. He's got good shooting, speed, strength, defense, versatility, vertical, rebounding, agility, whatever you want out of a card. Sharif Abdur-Rahim gives you literally everything at least a solid level. And that type of versatility is valuable and still puts him decently high on this list. Number 3, just like Christian Brown earlier, we got Obi Toppin, another free level up reward for this season. Obviously, I guess I could have included some other free cards on this list, guys like Cat or James Worthy or Jaime Jaquez from the event. That type of stuff I could have included, but I decided not to. But these guys, they're so easy to get. I mean, level 20 for Obi Toppin, I believe level 10 for Christian Brown is like, you're going to get that automatically. And this Obi card is basically Diamond Kenyon Martin, but slightly worse, but not much worse. He's super athletic. He's got a fast, deceptively quick release on it. It's not hard to grade, and he's a solid defender in his own right as well. Go watch the gameplay that I did with Obi Toppin. You will be impressed by that card. He is very, very solid. Number 2 is going to be Kermit Washington, who can play small forward as well, and honestly, at the small forward position, would have an argument for number 1 over Chuck Person. So either way, no matter where you want to play this card, he is really, really good. If you look at his defensive badges, he is just incredible. Challenger off-ball pest on-ball menace, paint patroller, pogo stick, and post lockdown. Elite finisher as well, and even a little bit of playmaking. He just needs shooting. But similar to a guy like Purvis Ellison, yes, the 3-ball releases or the 3-ball rating is low, but the jump shot release itself is really good, which means you can hit with the stick with pretty good consistency, even with only a 55 3-ball. Kermit Washington, really good card and should not be slept on at all at the small forward position. One of the best value cards in all of my team at small forward or power forward. And then finally at power forward, we got number 1, Josh Smith. Now, this is the most expensive card in this list. He's going for probably about 80,000 MT, which is a little bit more than what I would consider budget for the most part. But as I've played against him a couple times, if you stick shoot, Josh Smith's jumper is not bad at all. Honestly, I know it's ugly, but it's really not that bad, especially if you stick shoot. He is an elite level slasher and an elite level defender and has a little more size than Kermit Washington as well. Higher 3-ball rating. I think he is my number 1 choice, and I think he's very, very good. And then at the 5, we'll start off with number 5, Pau Gasol, who just is not very good. I mean, he's slow. He's not a great shooter. He's not a great defender at this point. He's just not that good. The center position needs some work, though, to be completely honest. Like, it is not a deep position. Greg Monroe at number 4 should indicate that. A 76 speed inside who can't shoot threes. Yes, he's a good dunker. Yes, he's a good defender. Yes, he's got decent speed, but not great. 76 is not top tier. He's not a great card by any means in his own right. Number 3 is Nikola Vucevic, who's definitely a good chunk better. Still not amazing, but definitely an improvement. Pretty affordable, has a very nice release. Okay-ish defensively, I guess, but not great. At least he can shoot, but he is, again, slow. 67 speed is not what you're looking for, and that's why he's at number 3. Number 2 is going to be Jamal McGlure, who, similar to Josh Smith, is right under that 80,000 MT price point. I think you could get Jamal McGlure for maybe close to 70K if you're lucky. I know his 3-ball rating is low, but similar to a guy like Kermit or a guy like Purvis Ellison we've talked about, mid-50s 3-ball is high enough to green with consistency if you got a solid release, and Jamal McGlure has that. He's also a very good inside. He's got great speed. He's actually a very solid card and should not be slept on at the center position. And honestly, you could argue him number 1 if you wanted to. Like, I have Diamond Sean Kemp there right now, but I'm very tempted to switch that. In fact, I think I'm going to switch it. I think I'm going to go McGlure 1, Kemp 2, because McGlure can't shoot as good as Kemp can, but Kemp can shoot pretty good, but he just doesn't defend the same as Jamal McGlure. If you compare those two cards, Kemp is slower. He's not as versatile as a defender by any means. I just don't think overall, when you look at the stats, that there's much that favors Kemp besides the higher three ball rating, but I think McGlure can hit pretty consistently, even with that mid 50s three ball, because of the release being smooth and rhythm shooting being really good. And then defensively, he's significantly better as a rebounder, defender, interior, all that type of stuff. So I think we'll go McGlure 1, Kemp 2, Vucevic 3, Greg Monroe 4, and Pau Gasol at 5 for the center position. That is going to do it for this video as I click through these lineups real quickly again. Hopefully this video gives y'all a good picture of the type of budget cards that you should be trying to target and trying to buy for your squad in my team. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon. I appreciate y'all. Peace.